Alright guys, so in today's discussion of the Oscars, I want to honour 10 horror performances that deserved an Oscar nomination but sadly didn't get one. The Academy has a notable track record of genre bias when it comes to acknowledging performances in horror films. Of course, there are always exceptions to the rule, however, generally speaking, horror performances are more likely to be overlooked by the Academy. If you guys watch the Oscar nominations each year, more often than not, it's the horror performances which didn't get a nomination which caused the biggest outcry or backlash. And rightfully so, because some of the performances on this list are so effective that they stay with you forever. And for more Oscars related content, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. If you guys have any requests for any particular Oscar videos, let me know in the comment section down below. And also let me know which horror performances do you think were Oscar worthy that didn't make it into this video. Whatever your thoughts and opinions, let me know in that comment section. Okay, so kicking off the list at number 10, we have Florence Pugh for her performance as Danny in Ari Aster's Midsommar. I mean, it's not all bad for Florence Pugh. She did land her first ever Oscar nomination that year for Best Supporting Actress in Greta Gerwig's Little Women, which she was magnificent in. However, it almost felt a little bit like a consolation nomination because of just how stacked the Best Actress category was that year. 2019 was actually a very big year for Pugh because she had hit after hit after hit with Fighting With My Family, Midsommar, and Little Women. But I think it was a performance as Danny in Midsommar which solidified her as a star. The demands of what she had to pull off was not an easy challenge. She had to play a grief-stricken woman stuck in a toxic codependent relationship, and for the majority of the movie, she is essentially playing an unwanted tag-along / whiny girlfriend, all the while trying to retain the audience's sympathy. And we watch as she slowly succumbs to the will of this Swedish pagan cult and eventually becomes the Flower Queen. It's such a traumatizing role for both Pugh herself and the audience to watch, and she is utterly spellbinding here. This is the role that I would have personally nominated her for over Little Women. What do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree? Next up at number 9, we have the performance which flung Christian Bale into the big leagues. It's for his intensely brilliant performance as Patrick Bateman in Mary Harron's American Psycho. I'm not even sure that Christian Bale would have had the career that he's had without the role of Patrick Bateman, because he's just so perfect as this image-obsessed, egotistical, capitalist-driven serial killer. It's a role which perfectly demonstrates his versatility as an actor, because in some scenes he's steely and intense, and then in others he's deliciously superficial and absurd. Christian Bale has so many iconic moments as Patrick Bateman. It really is one of his definitive roles. I think part of the reason for his lack of a nomination was because the film was ultra-violent, and Christian Bale was also a relative newcomer at the time. But it's a shame he didn't get a nomination for American Psycho, because it's a performance which has only been appreciated more with time. Okay, so next up at number 8, we have a performance from the first ever horror movie that I can remember watching as a child. It's Nicole Kidman for a performance as Grace in Alejandro Amenabar's The Others. There's actually a very simple reason why Nicole Kidman wasn't nominated for her chilling performance as a frightened matriarch of a ghost-infested house. It's because she was already nominated for her star-making performance as Satine in Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge that very same year. The Duke! The Academy will always favour a performance from a typically traditional film, like say a box office smash musical, than say a horror film. To be fair, Nicole Kidman is phenomenal in both of these movies, but the Academy rules state that no actor can be nominated more than once in the same category in the same year. And it's understandable why her performance in the dazzling musical about an aspiring actress resonated more with the Academy, which is made up mostly of actors. But I adored Nicole Kidman in The Others. I actually think it's the stronger performance of the two. It's more layered and dimensional than Satine. But if I had to give Nicole Kidman one nomination for Best Actress that year, I would have gone with The Others. But what would you guys pick? Alright, so coming in at number 7, we have a performance from everybody's favourite character actor, Jeff Goldblum, for his transformative performance as Seth Brundle in David Cronenberg's The Fly. It's not hard to figure out why the Academy didn't appreciate a performance where Jeff Goldblum slowly turns into a half-man, half-fly hybrid. I mean, Jeff Goldblum spends the latter half of this movie with body parts falling off of him and vomiting acid. That's not the type of stuff the Academy gives Oscars to. I mean, the Academy did appreciate the convincingly gross makeup, they gave that an Oscar, but they didn't honor the man underneath it all who brought it all to life. The Fly has some of the best body horror in the entire history of cinema, but the reason audiences love The Fly so much is because it's a horror film with loads of emotion. It's actually a horrific tragedy watching this eccentric but shy scientist slowly morph into this monster. The film takes its time to establish a touching romance between Seth and Gina Davis's Veronica, and you have so much empathy for Seth when he starts losing his humanity and becomes this disfigured creature. Goldblum succeeded in getting the audience to care deeply for him, and even underneath all that Oscar-winning makeup, he conveys so much tragedy through his eyes. The Fly might actually be Jeff Goldblum's best performance of his career. So yeah, I wish Jeff Goldblum had received a nomination that year. Probably just a bit too gross for the Academy at the time. Right, next up at number 6, we have Robert Shaw for his performance as salty sea dog Quint in Steven Spielberg's Jaws. While the Academy did in fact love this film, it even won 3 Oscars for editing, sound, and music, and was also up for Best Picture as well. Having said that, there were no nominations for its triptych of actors. The one that baffles me the most is Robert Shaw, who is beyond brilliant as the shark hunter Quint. Robert Shaw brought great depth to the acerbic fisherman. I would go as far as saying that Robert Shaw steals this film. From his captivating entrance with the hold, the head, the tail, the whole damn thing speech, to his flawless accent, to his spellbinding monologue about the USS Indianapolis, which gives so much great insight as to how he became this grizzled shark hunter. He holds you in his grasp like a grandfather telling his grandkids a ghost story. He's mesmerizing as Quint. Okay, so coming in at number 5, we have Anthony Perkins for his most iconic role as Norman Bates in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Sometimes the Academy don't realize when they have a masterpiece in their hands, and it's criminal how few nominations Psycho actually received. It did get 4 Oscar noms, but not for the categories that you'd think it would, like Best Picture or Best Score. And Anthony Perkins was also excluded from Best Actor despite a layered performance as the motel owner / mama's boy Norman Bates. His co-star Janet Leigh managed to get a nomination for Best Supporting Actress, so why not Anthony Perkins? It's arguably one of the most iconic performances of all time, and it's strange to think that it wasn't Oscar nominated. When looking at the nominees for Best Actor that year, it is full of legends. You've got Burt Lancaster, who won for Elmer Gantry, Jack Lemmon for The Apartment, Trevor Howard for Son and Lovers, Laurence Olivier for The Entertainer, and Spencer Tracy for Inherit the World. Granted, all 5 of these men are legends of Hollywood, but Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates is by far and away the performance which has endured over the decades. I'm gonna say it, Anthony Perkins not only should have been nominated that year, I think he should have won. What do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree? Alright, coming in at number 4, we have an actress who, quite frankly, should have been Oscar nominated 5 times already, but hasn't even received a single nomination, period. It's Emily Blunt for her masterful performance in her husband John Krasinski's A Quiet Place. Horror has really made a comeback in the last few years, and it's thanks to the efforts of actresses like Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Lupita Nyong'o, and Jennifer Lawrence, which have indisputably proven the validity of the genre. I'm just a little bit in love with Emily Blunt, and it makes me really mad that she has not received a single Oscar nomination despite an incredible career. And I wish she had received a nomination for Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars in 2019, because Emily Blunt actually managed to win the Best Supporting Actress award at the SAG Awards. It's strange that Blunt could win at the SAG Awards but not even be nominated at the Oscars. I also think that Emily Blunt's role in A Quiet Place presented a bigger challenge as an actress. It's a predominantly physical performance, but Emily Blunt's body language and eye contact throughout this film speaks volumes. She played a protective mother in an apocalyptic situation, she had essentially 0 dialogue, and she successfully conveyed the excruciating pain of childbirth while trying to contain that pain. The bathtub scene alone should have earned her an Oscar nomination, but once again the Academy went the more conventional route with the nominees they selected that year. Come on, Academy, take some risks with your selections. Okay, so coming in at number 3, we have one of Jack Nicholson's most iconic and most quoted characters of all time. It's for his terrifying performance as axe-wielding maniac Jack Torrance in Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece, The Shining. The Shining received a grand total of 0 nominations from the Academy. I could do a whole video just bitching about that. It is a travesty that The Shining wasn't appreciated in its own time. The same has to be said about Jack Nicholson's performance. It's transfixing to watch him spiral deeper and deeper into madness. Nicholson's performance isn't just iconic, it's become part of the cultural zeitgeist. I actually think more people know "Here's Johnny" from Jack Nicholson using it than Ed McMahon. He took somebody else's catchphrase and managed to redefine it. It's one of cinema's greatest moments, and it was completely improvised by Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson in The Shining is everything. Coming in at number 2, we have a performance which I love to hate. It's Marcia Gay Harden for her performance as Bible-bashing Mrs. Carmody in Frank Darabont's The Mist. I don't think I can recall a character that I've hated as much as Mrs. Carmody, and I say that with the utmost respect to Marcia Gay Harden. She is absolutely despicable as the preachy, self-righteous, God-fearing Mrs. Carmody. There's nothing remotely likable about her as a character, but she doesn't come across as cartoony or pantomimey. She's a fully rounded person who you could easily meet in the real world. However, she is the last person you would want to be trapped in a grocery store with during an apocalyptic situation, because all she does is spreads fear, and she believes that she is the Messiah's chosen one. Marcia Gay Harden is so good as Mrs. Carmody that I was actively rooting for her to die as painfully as possible. That's how good her performance is. She got under my skin. She's the real horror in this movie, not the creatures in The Mist. I was way more scared of her. It's a performance which deserves to be celebrated more. Before we get to number 1, be sure to let me know in the comments section what other horror performances do you think deserved an Oscar nomination. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to follow me on any social media, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, all those links in the video description down below. So coming in at number 1, we have the performance which was the inspiration for this video because of how much noise people made when this actress didn't get nominated for Best Actress. It's Toni Collette for Hereditary. People were angry. I just remember when they announced the nominees for the 2019 Academy Awards, the thing that people were talking about the most on film Twitter was how mad they were that Toni Collette was excluded for her scarring performance in Hereditary. Also bear in mind, this was the same year that Emily Blunt didn't receive a Best Supporting Actress nomination for A Quiet Place. 2019, what a year for horror. Technically those films came out in 2018, but it was the 2019 Oscars. And like Best Supporting Actress, 2019 was also an amazing year for Best Actress. But once again, the Academy chose not to recognize a risk-taking performance like Toni Collette in Hereditary. Instead, they'd rather give Lady Gaga, a pop star, a nomination for Best Actress for playing, get this, a pop star. Yeah, no disrespect to Lady Gaga, she was wonderful in A Star Is Born, but comparing Gaga and Colette's performances and what was required of them, it doesn't even compare. Toni Collette had to go to much greater depths for the role that she was playing as this grieving matriarch. Her performance was so good that it left a scar. And seeing as though Lady Gaga was a lock to win Best Song that year for Shallow, I would have given the Best Actress slot that she got to Toni Collette. I can feel those Lady Gaga little monsters getting ready to attack. It was a very tough year for Best Actress though, but when it comes to the Oscars, fortune favors the bold. Like, it's the more unorthodox nominations from the past which people tend to remember more fondly, like Sigourney Weaver for Aliens or Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. They're by no means traditional, but it's nice to see them acknowledged. I just hope that in the future, the Academy learns to appreciate the artistic merit of horror performances. Please, Academy, be bolder, be braver, be more inclusive to genre films, because as we've seen in this video, sometimes it's the more scarring performances which have the greatest longevity. What do you guys think? Will the Academy eventually learn to love the horror genre Whatever you guys think, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. For more Oscars, movies, and TV related content, don't forget to click subscribe and let me know your requests for any other Oscars topics and also your favourite horror performances that you think were worthy of an Oscar nomination in that comment section down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.